Dear friends, good morning to everyone. Today we are talking to you about the electronic ignition problems of your cooktop. Has it ever happened to you that the cooktop starts by itself without you touching it? It starts and continues imperfectly to spark the electronic ignition. This problem generally can depend on two factors, either because you have washed your cooktop using an excessive amount of water, so the water has infiltrated the electrical parts and could create this problem. Or perhaps while cooking, water overflowed from a pot, and thus the water filled up, ended up at the bottom, went into the electrical parts, and could have caused this problem. In case it depends on this factor, it might be enough to disconnect the power to the cooktop and wait for it to dry on its own. So maybe leave it disconnected for a day or two and then reconnect it to see how it goes. If, however, after waiting 1 or 2 days for the cooktop to dry and you reconnect the power, and the cooktop still has this problem, then it might be due to something else. It could be due to a fault in the wiring. The wiring is a set of buttons connected to each other in a chain, which is why it's called wiring, located under each knob. This ensures that when you press, the button closes the contact and sparks the ignition. But what happens? Due to humidity, due to grease, which seeps in and causes it to block these buttons, and thus keep them in the closed or contact position. And so it sparks on its own. So to solve this issue, it is necessary to open the cooktop and replace this so-called wiring element. Now, let's take a look. So how to disassemble the cooktop and replace this wiring? So now we open our cooktop to access the element that needs to be replaced. First, we remove the grates. Once the screws are removed, we need to extract. Also the knobs by pulling them upwards. And then from here, we can remove the stainless steel worktop and gain access to the internal part of the cooktop. Here is our plan for the piano de plan. We can indeed access the catenary, which is basically the sequence of these 4 buttons connected to each other. As you can see, how to ensure that every time you apply pressure on the knob, the push button switch closes inside here, and thus it sparks, insinuating itself with grease and water. Inside this, what happens is that these remain stuck in the closed position and continuously spark, so it is necessary to replace it. To replace it is very simple. Basically, you just need to act as you see on the button that is locked with these plastic springs, and the button comes off. So detach the buttons from the switches. Follow the electrical connection, disconnecting the terminals at the points where the catenary draws power. Then once removed, go to your supplier with the sample, also bringing the brand, model, and serial number of the cooktop so you can purchase a new one. You can reassemble it. To reassemble it, the operation is quite simple, just as it was to remove it. Then position each element one by one corresponding to the various taps. In this way, and you must naturally restore the electrical connection at the same points where it was previously disconnected. So one here. There you go. Now your chain is ready to resume its normal operation. So, sometimes after the assembly operation of this chain, restore power to the system and you will see that the problem will surely be resolved. We just want to take a moment to greet our friend who always follows our videos. And who brought this issue to our attention? So we greet Mr. Johnny Z to the next video. Best wishes for a happy Ferragosto to everyone.